Hey guys, welcome back to Megaman 7. I think we are all set with, I think we've done everything there is to do in the rest of these levels, so let's head for Wily's Fortress. I would definitely recommend you have the super adapter before you come here, at the very least. I love the opening music for this. Really nice way to welcome you to the fortress. Anyways, yeah, these the fortress levels can be pretty tough if you don't have the super adapter. First time I played this game and I tried to do this, yeah, it was pretty tough. Now check this out. We have these should be familiar for those familiar with Mega Man 1. It's the those track platforms from Gutsman's level. Only with the added twist of the lights going out when you stand on them, which can make it kind of difficult. Especially since... Okay, there we go. And then we've also got this gimmick added too. See, these floors, whenever you're on these floors, the lights go out when you're standing on them. This time there's no safety net below us, so kind of want to use the super adapter's ability. It sort of gives you it essentially functions as a double jump, so we can use that as a little insurance policy. Like that you just saw there. Oh, now we got an upward section. Okay. Do I want to try for that E-Tank? I really don't think I should. I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so we fight Base for real this time. I thought he was weak to Noise Crush, but it doesn't... From my experience, the Rocket Buster from the Super Adapter seems to work a lot better. But we're not done with the stage yet. Let me see if I can farm a little bit of health. Because now we're at the actual boss of the level. If they're gonna drop something else besides just bolts. Oh, there's some weapon energy. Well, okay, fine. I think I'll be okay. Famous last words, right? Oh, look at that! Wily remodeled the Gutsman he stole from the museum. Like I said, Wily really... Oops. Okay, when he... Okay, he does that charging attack, so you wanna rapid fire him in order to keep him back. And he drops boulder on my head. It's hard to tell exactly where it's going to land. But if we can get it with the, oh crap, should I, I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. Because that might, yeah, that would have killed me otherwise. Okay, there he goes. So yeah, when he hits the ground and causes a boulder to fall, if you're standing to the close enough, you can swipe it with the slash claw and knock it into him. That deals the most damage. Okay. Fortunately, we can head back to the auto shop if we need to. And restock our E-tanks. I have plenty of bolts, so that's not a problem. Okay. Now, the first time I played this game and I saw Wily had rebuilt Gutsman for the Stage 1 boss, I kind of wondered if he was going to do the same with the other Robot Masters we saw in the Robot Museum earlier. So, when I saw this stage, I kind of thought he was going to do the same with Snake Man for the boss this level, but not quite so much. By the way, the music for this level is totally Michael Jackson's Thriller. I don't know how Capcom didn't get sued. I'll take that. It's a super adapter in this game is so good. Only weakness is, as Proto Man mentioned before, we can't slide with it on. Oh, base again. Oh, is that so? Ah, here's the first instance of bass and treble merging together. Once again, the Hyper Rocket Buster from the Super Adapter seems to work the best on him, but he is still a tough boss. Oops. And like I said, without the Super Adapter, I found this an extremely difficult battle. I needed quite a few E-tanks for this. Again, we've still got some stage left, and unfortunately now is where the really tough stuff starts happening. I always found this second half Probably the hardest part of the game. Once we get up to it here. Yeah, this portion. Having to... We can't walk under that. Those flames deal a lot of damage, so we want to avoid those. And try to get around as much as we can with the super adapter. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Although I think there's still some more coming up. So, we're not in the clear just yet. Damn it. Get. Ah, yes, this portion. What was... Don't know what my, fist was chasing that time. Whoa. We could also freeze those with the freeze cracker, but I don't know. I feel like it's not worth it because they still obstruct your path, and overall just throws off their pattern even more. So here we are. What was this boss's name? Gamerizer? This? Oh, really? Okay. This requires... Damn it. This boss requires some trickiness to fight the most effectively. It's weak... If we can catch one of those mini turtles that it shoots in the danger wrap and then spike it into it, that deals a ton of damage. Unfortunately, it also requires... Let me see, can we... Nope. Yeah, like I said, damn it. It requires a lot of really careful timing to do accurately. Crud. Fortunately, its secondary weakness is the wild coil. Okay. There we go! I got at least one. And if you notice, that did deal a ton of damage. Like I said, it just requires some real careful timing to do it accurately. Reliably, rather, I should say. Okay. No matter how you fight this thing, it's a tedious boss to fight. Alright. We're halfway through. Now this stage is gonna throw... The last stage threw some of the previous Robot Master's stage gimmicks at us. This one is going to be just about all the rest of them. Haven't used much of the Proto Shield. You got to see a little bit of it in action there, though. Like I said, since you can't use it with the Super Adapter or any of the Robot Master weapons, it kind of doesn't get to see a whole lot of use, unfortunately. Those conveyor belts on the ceiling don't do much here, but they're kind of reminding me now of the ones in Tankman's level in Megaman Unlimited. Those were a serious nightmare. Now here, we have the a mobile version of the Time Bomb platforms. Again, we want... Whoa. Okay. And now, I like to get up to this top path. The bottom path you see there is... It takes you to a water segment, which is kind of like the one we saw in Burstman's level, only taken up to 11. That's really not something I would rather do. This way takes us to another Yoku block segment, which we can fortunately navigate around with Rush Jet. And it takes us to a free E-Tank, Super Tank, and Weapon Tank. And here's where the paths converge. I keep forgetting the name of this boss, but it's not. This one's not too hard, actually. He looks rather imposing, especially with the kanji on it reading Gates of Death. But it has an easy pattern. You just want to hit it in the nose. Now, I understand Slash Claw also works pretty good, but it's kind of hard getting yourself in range. It's much easier to hit it with the crush noise. Passwords, by the way, aren't really worth that much. Because if I were to turn the game off and re-enter that password, it would still put me back at the beginning of the fortress, just as the NES games did too. Now, I just want to make sure before we head into the final stage. Okay, I'm filled up on that. I've got the bolts. I might as well use them. Fill up on all of my E-Tanks, Weapon Tanks, and I think you can only carry one Super Tank. The Super Tank refills your... Yep, yeah, I can only carry one. Okay. The Super Tank refills all my weapons and health. Because we're going to need as much as we can going into the final battle here. Oh, turns out the game gave us a freebie there anyways. Oh, it sounds like we're loaded up on 1-ups also. Guess what time it is? Yep, it's boss rush time. Barring the two that I use their weaknesses on anyways, Freeze Man and Slash Man, this time I'll go ahead and just use their weaknesses on them. Oh, by the way, I didn't point out with Freeze Man. What I should have done was, actually, if you hit him with the Freeze Cracker at the start of the fight, or I think at any time, he'll actually freeze the screen, and he'll look right at the screen, right at the player, like, seriously. Pretty funny. I forgot to point out some of the amusing reactions the Robot Masters have to some of the weapons. Well, let's see how much of a problem Slash Man's gonna give me. Oh, crap. You bastard. I love how he still deals contact damage while he's frozen like that. Because of the low ceiling, it's always hard to avoiding those goo bombs seems to be more luck than anything. Because of the lower ceiling and how fast they fall, there's really no way to avoid them once you see them falling on you. Okay, which one's this? I think this one's Junk Man. Yes, it is. Okay, now here's an example of what I was talking about before, how using their weakness forces them into an easy pattern. Watch this. All he's going to do now is just jump back and forth, throwing a piece of trash at me. That's all he does. Oh, but it gets even better. This one should be Cloud Man. Wait till you see this, if I can pull it off. It takes a little bit of dexterity. Okay, falls. There we go. Look at this. Come on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not too easy to pull off because he does get some invincibility frames when he's charging the Thunder Strike. But yeah, he's still ridiculous with the Danger App. I believe this one's Turbo Man. Will it still hold its charge? No, it doesn't. And with him, all he's going to do is drive back and forth. And I believe this one's Spring Man. Yep. Unfortunately, it still forces him into this pattern. It's a little more tedious because you have to wait a while for him to jump to the center of the screen and then jump up, and he has invincibility frames that whole time. So I have to wait for him every time he does it. Or maybe, let me see. Nope. This one should be Shade Man. Oops. Had me kind of stopped in place while I was shooting that. A little awkward to use sometimes, but gets the job done. Okay, finally should be Burst Man. And you wouldn't even normally have this weapon the first time you fight him. Although, you could make the argument it's actually harder to fight him with this. Because you can't really... Because unfortunately, the burning wheel doesn't go through his bubbles. It would really break this fight if it did. In fact, let me see if... Yeah, you can use his secondary weakness, the freeze cracker. There we go. Okay. Let's see which weapons I want to fill up here. Okay. And let's get ready to face Dr. Wily. Very long entrance in his new machine here. You mainly just want to try to slide under the little spikes on its chin there. Just send out babies. And then get to the other side before he bum rushes you like that. He's not too difficult to deal with. It's the fight that comes after this that's going to be the real pain in the ass. If he's just going to keep doing that, this is going to be super easy. Okay, then. Alright, let's get ready for what a lot of people consider is the hardest fight in the original series. Even the developers have said they have not been able to beat this without E-Tanks. Those orbs you saw him fire there are extremely difficult to avoid. Somehow I pulled it off twice in a row. We'll see how long my luck holds out. And there's our answer. Oh well, getting hit by that's not as bad as getting hit by the orbs. Yeah, you see there's, the blue orbs are ice, the red orbs set you on fire. If you're gonna get hit by one, try to get hit by the yellow ones. At least they don't have any nasty effects. I'm not doing too bad here. Like I said, it requires extremely good timing to avoid those. A lot of Wily Saucers in games since this one have also used that kind of attack albeit not as difficult to avoid. Okay, this last one should do it. Alright. Okay, we get this dramatic moment and they ruin it with sloppy grammar there. Now, interestingly enough, this line you're seeing here is actually added to the American version. In the Japanese version, Mega Man is just silent here. As usual, that was a load-bearing Wily saucer. And that was Mega Man 7, viewers. Again, I really like this game. This was a really enjoyable game. I really liked playing playing a classic Mega Man on the 16-bit Super NES. I did mention this and Mega Man Soccer. I did forget to mention Mega Man and Bass, probably because it didn't get an official American release until it came out. It was ported to the GBA. But that one, for whatever reason, just didn't feel the same as this one. I guess as I mentioned once before, after playing this and playing Super Mario All-Stars, I was thinking how cool it would have been to have seen them redo the earlier ones in this style. Which, especially when I saw all of the callbacks to previous Mega Mans that this one made. Unfortunately, the arcade games was the closest we ever saw to what that would have been like. But yeah, great game. Absolutely did not suck big dinosaur balls. another thing worth pointing out is this whole ending sequence you're seeing here. This was all cut out of the Anniversary Collection version of this game. For whatever, I guess they couldn't emulate the Mode 7 properly. That you see with the Burning Skull Fortress back there. So basically, they just put this whole credit sequence on just a plain black background. Looks kind of crud, if you ask me. That version also had a lot of slowdown in this game too. So really, I felt the Anniversary edition, the Anniversary Collection port of this was kind of botched a little bit. Still playable, yes, but like I said, I would recommend looking for either the original Super NES cartridge, or if that's too rich for your blood, the Super Famicom Rockman 7 cart, which should be a lot cheaper. Or it's also, like I said, it's also on the Wii U Virtual Console. Anyways, that was Mega Man 7. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.
I'm playing a game.